Hello and welcome back to Downtime Activities, and welcome back to our Age of Rebellion game. Welcome back to our story of our scruffy-looking nerf herder. Last time, brought your nerf-related wares up to the Sky Market for sale, and unfortunately got involved in some pretty bad business thanks to classic scumbag, Dev Malior. When last we left, you had just been stunned by some stormtroopers after being involved in this kind of not good situation, and we kind of left it on a little bit of a cliffhanger, not knowing what your state was going to be when you woke up. For the sake of this, probably did. Yeah. Just kidding. We had to make a new character off camera. You wake up these sky markets don't exactly have alleys, but in the equivalent of a sky market alley, you wake up there. You will have one wound threshold remaining and one strain threshold remaining, because you kind of get one strain back. And you are beat to crap. You feel like somebody has drug you into an alley and kicked you with laminate boots until you were next to dead. You don't have any of your wares. Your hover sled is nowhere to be seen. And these Imperials, as well as the individual that they had captured, also are nowhere to be seen.
Oh.
I seem to not think that you were a part of this possible rebel insurgency, but they seem to want to make an example of you nevertheless. And it seems to be kind of later in the evening of that same day.
I guess I just get up and walk around and try to understand what's happening.
Okay. Walking around, you see mostly people kind of packing up for the evening. There's a couple people who seem to be kind of like watching you, like kind of seem like they had eyes on that alley and see you as you're walking out, and they kind of look at you and just like go back to whatever they were doing, try to mind their own business a little bit. But it seems like it's kind of the end of the market day here.
So it's very apparent that all my stuff's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Or like all my
your whip is still on you. And your boltcaster was next to you when you woke up, but it has clearly been like slammed against the ground and is once again damaged and not functional. Like someone like smacked it over their knee, threw it next to you.
Starting to think this thing's a piece of crap.
Wookiee boltcaster. The good thing about them is they're easy to repair. They're like they're a very simple machine compared to your average blaster. So,
is the tech mechanic feller still around?
If you go back over to where he's at, it seems like he's getting ready to close up shop, but you think he could probably... He looks at you and is like, Jesus, what happened to you?
It was Imperials.
What'd you do to stir Imperials?
I didn't do anything. It's just... Man bought all my furs and he was mixed up in I don't know what, but got caught up in it. Tried to steal it. Imperials tried to take on my herd, my nerf.
Your nerf hurts?
Nerf perks.
Nerf birds. The Imperials stole my nerf fur.
My nerf furs.
My nerf fur. My
took all my furs. Yeah.
Well, hell. And it looks like the boltcasters.
Yeah.
In rough shape once again.
It's all I really got now that means anything to me.
Well, listen here. I got no love for those imps either, but just this one's on the house. I'll get this fixed back up for you.
Might have kind of, I'll return the favor one day when I can.
I'm sure you will. He'll take it from you, and it'll take him a little more time. I'll roll a quick mechanics check just to make sure that he doesn't royally fuck this up.
Breaks it even more.
It's a pretty easy one for him. Yeah, he is successful. And he will return your boltcast back to you functional. It's worth saying you still have the credits you had in your pocket before. They don't rob you in that way. But you did not ever get the 2000.
Yeah, I was wondering. I don't think I ever got to 2000. I guess I'll ask around to see, because I either need my furs or my credits back. I'll look around for Dev Malior and see if anybody's seen him. Because last I knew, he just got knocked out. Right.
Mm-hmm. Are you asking around or are you looking around for him?
Yes.
Both?
Yeah.
Go ahead and make me an easy charm check and a average perception check.
One threat on the charm.
Okay.
And perception. Oh, I actually have a level on that one. And that was average.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh God. One advantage to failures on this.
You don't find him anywhere looking around. You're pretty confident he's not anywhere around here to be found, though. You don't think he's out and about walking the streets at the moment.
Yeah.
With the one threat, you're not really able to find anybody who says anything. Like, you're able to find people who can match that, or like who recognize the description of Dev, but all they do is point you to the dock where you know his ship was stationed. There's no other like real information. One person is even like, I was there, I saw you get involved with the Imperials, I don't want nothing to do with you, and like just shoos you whenever you, like some people do that when you try and talk. But you're not able to get anything other than, oh yeah, I think I saw that fellow, he's got a ship over in that dockyard. And that's about all you get.
Well, I reckon I just go back home then.
You're getting back on the flight back to the surface. I need to stop leaning forward so much. I keep getting out of focus. You get back on. You kind of head back over and get onto one of those transport vessels and wait for it to kind of get loaded up for. And again, it's like people leaving as they're loading these on. It's clear like there's a lot of extra time compared to usual as they're going through every single thing coming and going from this sky market. And you do see a familiar face who, when you're on there walking over towards you, see Shan Braith, the old farmer,
right.
who kind of needs it. Damn, you look like somebody done whacked you upside the head with a gaffy stick. The hell happened to you, Toba?
I got shysted.
Shysted? You get robbed up there? He comes over and sits next to you.
Them Imperials, some no good scumbag wrapped me up in his own trouble.
An Imperial scumbag, dude, wasn't there?
No, the Imperial. Some fella duped me, and I ended to get the wrong end of the stick from the Imperials.
Looks like they gave you the hard and pointy end of the stick.
Yeah, feels like it. Took my furs.
They took all your wares too?
Yeah.
Hell. Well, if there's anything I can do to help, I mean, times are hard enough as it is without these Imperials sticking their shiny white heads where they don't belong.
Well, if you keep a lookout for some shiesty feller. His name's Dev.
If I hear of any Dev, I'll give him a good square one straight between the eyes. This guy who's saying this is like this hobbled old man. But you think that he probably would try and punch the guy if he saw him?
Well, appreciate it. I'll reach out, I guess. Guess I'll just have to restart and harvest next, or sell my wares next season.
Luckily enough, I'm sure you're well versed in living off the land. It won't do. It's just hate to miss an entire season's worth of yield. It's a big cut in what you can save up.
Yeah, well, that's the world we live in. Now, you ever think about getting at them Imperials?
Well, shit, my age, I try and stir something up like that, I'll end up dead. I feel if I was a younger man, I might try and get involved somewhere, but that's dangerous talk for an old coot like me.
Yeah, well, reckon I'm young enough. Ain't got no family. You ever see any of them rebels? Let me know.
I reckon I will. If I'll let you know before I let the Imperials know, that's for damn sure.
Plot twist, he's an Imperial spy.
He turns around. Whispers into a little comm link. And with that, man, that's another good bit of conversation as this thing sails down and lands back on the planet. Luckily, your speeder truck is still there.
Good.
Excuse me. You don't have a hover sled to link it up to now. That seemed to be gone and taken as well. Right. But you do still have the truck.
Those hover sleds are probably worth a lot, too.
They're worth a good bit. And worth, I think, for a hover sled, it's like 500 credits or something like that.
Well, don't worry about that. None I need one, I guess.
Got nowheres to put on it, anyhow.
Well, I'll just drive home, I guess.
And in a sad trudge, I'm just picturing literally like an old school like Ford F-150, but with no wheels, floating, and you just sitting there with like a black eye and like holding the ice pack to your head, driving with just like country music playing, looking out the window, angry.
You know that old country song about the Imperials taking your
nerfer? The Imperial took me nerfer. I'm real sad about it.
I'm gonna write that song. I'm gonna have it recorded by the end of the night too.
All right, I expect that song fully packaged.
Theme music for this specific campaign.
I love it. And apart from some angsty country music blasting from your Hyper Ford F-150, your Vibro Ford F-150, you arrive back at you actually arrive back at your ranch, and you can tell as you're approaching that like it's been gone through. Like somebody has been here since you've been gone, and doors open. It seems kind of like your house might have been rummaged through. And you can see that, like, your pin is open and the nerfs that were held in your area are, like, scattered around here.
My nerves!
My nerves! My nerves!
So now who is doing this now to me? This is the whole dang galaxy's trying to get at me, I guess. I'd go... The nurses are just going to be wandering anyway, so I'm going to go through my house and make sure there's no one in there.
Okay. Go ahead and just... Yeah, walking in, it's not a big place. There's no one currently inside of here. Go ahead and give me a easy perception to kind of look through your house.
One of these days I'm going to remember what these are. So I don't have to keep looking at it. Three successes, one advantage.
All right. Looking through, it seems like your house has been rummaged through, but not in a, like, looking for valuables sort of way. In a, like, you can tell that, like, you had more or less like a larder, like a room with your store, your food stores and stock, and it seems like that's been picked through and there's barely anything left in it. And you also find a notice on kind of just sitting on a center table in your ranch house that appears to be Imperial. Is a document basically saying like this house and some of the supplies within have been requisitioned by the Empire for feeding the troops who are stationed here to keep the peace. Your donation is appreciated. It's basically the gist of the letter.
A stew.
Imperials.
Well, I reckon I go out and herd my nerves back into their pen.
You're like limping around, holding your broken ribs with a black eye, like trying to herd your nerves. Go ahead and give me an average survival check. And have a setback die on that because you're beat up.
Okay. I do not want 3 green and 2. I do want that.
You do want
4 successes.
4 successes. You are quite the nerf. Even in your battered, bewildered state, you're quite the nerf herder. You take some time going around, gathering your nerfs back up, getting them back into the pen, but you do so fairly efficiently and fairly well.
Good. It's alright. Ain't got any food, do I?
Not enough to last you this next season.
No.
Not without... I mean, you think between hunting and like milking your nerfs and stuff like that, you think you could have enough to survive through the season? It's just going to be hard work. On top of your already hard job of being a rancher out here, like it's going to be pretty nonstop to make sure that you hunting often enough and stuff like that to keep food on your table. That's why you have these stores, is so that you can focus on your actual ranching. And not eating into your own stock of stuff in order to just sustain.
Okay. Well, probably not going to worry about that right now because, you know, my ribs are broken. So
Yes.
I guess I'll just, like, recover or whatever.
Okay. As far as strain, especially with you, it's very easy for you to recover strain as a Thespian, we've learned.
Yep.
So it's just like 2 hours and your strain will come back. Wounds are not so easy to come back. It can heal over time. Medicine checks are the easiest way to get it done. You'd know that there is kind of a local doctor that's fairly nearby you could probably go over to. You think that that'd probably be the quickest way to get a good amount of this healed up?
Yeah, I'll probably do that then.
Okay. So you just hopping in the truck and heading that away?
Listen to country.
listen to your vibro country.
Okay.
It's just like T-Pain country. It's like reverb, auto-tune country music.
Stole my nerves.
Imperial stole my nerves. And I don't like it one bit. Drive out that way and get out to the doctor's little spot and walking in. The doc is a human lady, and she recognizes you as you come in and was like, hell, you look like you've been trampled by a nerf. What happened to you?
Long story short, just Imperials.
Damn Imperials. They came through here and damn near cleaned me out on medical supplies. Said they needed it for the troops in reserve here, for keeping the peace. It's damn peaceful before they showed up, that's all I know. Been a lot less since then.
They just seem like they take whatever they want without earning it.
Seems like it. And I'll tell you, you're not the first fella that's come in here who's been roughed up by him for standing up for his own.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3rd or 4th today has been roughed up by these fellers.
What? Well, I reckon they're probably pretty angry too.
I bet there's no shortage of angry folk around here.
Maybe it's about time somebody done something about that.
Well, what you gonna do? Hop in a starfighter and go blow up those star destroyers? What you think you're gonna be able to do against Empire? I reckon we just have to hold out until they find who they're looking for and get off our world.
Wonder who it is they're looking for.
Couldn't tell you. I don't know who they are. I wouldn't go looking for them either. It'll stir up more trouble for you.
Well, sure as hell ain't gonna sit here and have all my furs taken every single season. Oh well, ain't much to do about it right now.
Unfortunately not. Take a seat here. Let me take a look and see what I can do for you. And she's going to make a medicine check for you. Fairly hard one, but she's good at this. And go ahead and get back 4 wounds.
Go 2-4 or go 4 more.
4 more, so from 1 to 5.
Okay.
And she will give you a little like cylindrical thing of Bacta, and she says, use this, it'll make if you apply this to your injured spots, you'll heal up quicker over the next couple days. And I'm normally, for something like this, I wouldn't charge, but I've got such a shortage of supplies, I'm going to have to ask for 15 credits from you for it.
Well, I reckon it's honest work. Can't be doing everything for free, I guess. Like those Imperials.
Damn, my nerves. My nerves.
Okay.
And he sends you on your way.
Cool. Go home.
Okay, you head on home. The way it'll work basically is each night's sleep you'll recover 3 wounds instead of just 1 for using this Bacta. So you'll recover more quickly over the next couple days. And I assume you're kind of going back to business as usual for a little bit?
Yeah, I guess so.
Tending to your nerves?
If I got short on anything that I need to, I call up Shan. Or is it Sham? Is he a Sham? Hey, real.
Shan. S-H-A-N. Shan Braith.
Call up him, see if he on the old comm link.
You have like a landline comm link.
Do I have like a CB radio comm link?
Yes, it's literally that. Like you have like a set of rabbit ears. You have to kind of twist until you get the right signal to comm link over to him.
I'd just ask for his generosity. But yeah, I just get ready for the next season, I guess.
Okay. You're kind of business usual. We'll say 2 days will go by, so you'll get back 6 wounds using that Bacta. 6 additional and whatever you had. And you get a call from Shan, actually.
Oh.
Saying, now, you there? You hear me?
Yeah.
Roger?
Yeah, Shan?
Yeah, that's me. Yeah. I don't know who's listening, so remember the thing we was talking about? I think I met some folk who might know about that thing. Said if you go on into town nearby here, that the Cantina's got a good Sabbac game to play there. That's what I heard.
Well.
Roger over Roger.
Well, I reckon I'd be interested in that. Thanks, old man.
Hey, no problem. Good luck. Hope you win big at Sabbac game. You can tell he feels like a secret agent talking to you right now. He's good at these code words. And he shifts the bunny ears so he's no longer talking to you.
Okay, well, I guess I'll go into town.
All right. Drive your Vibro Ford F-150 on into town. And
Listen, it's an old model, though. It's like
it is. Oh, yeah.
Man.
Vintage, really.
It's not one of them new ones.
Yeah, no. It's got no power steering. Its brakes are all but shot.
It ain't got power steering or air conditioning or any of that, but it does hover over the ground.
It does not have AC or power steering, but it does hover, and it's got character. That's what we're here for. And you head on into town. There is like a small cantina that's running the nearby closest town to you.
I walk in.
Okay. Walking in there, the music comes to life as you enter in. It's not a band because this is way too small of a town for having a band.
Right.
But they do have a radio that plays the exact kind of like... It's kind of a little jazzier than the classic copyrighted version. Right. I expect that song to also be recorded and ready by the end of the evening. The jazzy cantina music. But that's kind of bumping in the background, and there's usual kind of folk here, ranch hands and stuff. They're just kind of hanging around drinking, and you can see that there is a game of Sabbac going on a back table.
Well, I reckon I'll go play.
Okay. Go sit down, and you can see there's 2 guys there who, 3 other guys there who seem to be playing. And when you come in, they kind of look up at you, and they're like, "It's a 5 credit buy-in."
Well, all right.
And we'll just go ahead and play a hand of Sabak to start with.
Keeping real good track of my finances here. I just want you to know.
You're what now?
Keeping real good track of my finances right
Good. Glad. You are basically an
now.
accountant.
I am basically an accountant.
So everyone puts 5 into the pool, and then you're going to be using your cool to establish the dice pool that you're going to try and win with. You're going to be adding difficulty based on how skilled your opponents are, and you can roll it, and then you get to also roll force die with it, and the force die can be used to basically improve or disimprove or make your roll worse. You can try and cheat if you'd like to, but that allows you to use like deception or skullduggery instead of cool, but it upgrades the difficulty. And if it gets a despair, then you're caught cheating.
Okay.
All right. Are you going to try and cheat?
No.
All right. It'll be a cool check then, and it'll be an average cool check. So 2 purple. And you'll also, I'll roll the force die back here because yours I don't think lets you roll it. You'll also add a force die to it, which for you will be that.
So I don't do force die. Well, yeah, you're doing it for me. That's right. Okay. 1 advantage, 3 failures.
And you also got a dark side, which changes 1 success into a failure, which you don't have any success, so it's just another failure, and turns 1 advantage into a threat, which means you're it's actually 4 failures and 1 threat. So you definitely lose this hand. Yeah, we're not going to make it. Technically, you could like suffer a strain from the 1 threat, but that's not important. You fail, and you lose that 5 credit buy-in. But this kind of hand is playing and going around, and these guys seem to be talking very base level. It's very like, "Oh, weather sure is nice" kind of conversation during this, unless you pipe up saying anything else.
Okay. I know what I'm going to do. My naivety is like, you fellers know anything about getting at them Imperials?
Go ahead and roll me a charm.
Oh no!
An average charm.
I'm not doing good on this. It's 1
green versus 2 purple. Hey, you still got you can use one of these.
I will use.
I flipped one of these the wrong way. So you use this and flip it back over.
Well, I thought it was.
You get to flip over.
It started like that.
No, I flipped over on accident. It was this at the start of last session. I accidentally flipped one of these over to use it, which I wasn't supposed to. So I was flipping this back over because I used it, and then you're using it now, basically.
Okay, yeah.
So it's back to how it started because we've each used it once. So that means that green turns into a yellow. You get to upgrade it to a yellow. Okay. Just 1 failure?
1 failure, yeah.
They kind of look at each other all and look back at you like, I don't know, I don't think we know nothing about that. Yeah, can't say I mind the Imperials all too much, personally. Don't like to cause trouble.
Well, I know this old man, and he was telling me you may have been a rebel sympathizer.
And was just like, for the love of the Force, quiet down. You crazy, scruffy little bastard. Why are you talking to him? I was like, why are you talking so loud? Why are you asking?
Well, I reckon I got a bone to pick with them Imperials.
You're trying to help that cause of which we're not related or associated?
Well, yeah, I reckon I don't got anything else to do.
I don't know, he said. One of them says, and I'm looking at the other two, like, could be a spy. And the guy looks at you, like, I don't think he's a spy. That's good. Like, how about that? Gotta cut it. Whisper, secrets, whisper. All right, fella. How about this? We got to make sure you're not a spy. You do something for us. Help prove that you want to get back at these Imperials. And we'll get you in touch with some people who can help do just that.
Alright.
So here's what we're going to have to do. In town here, down the other end of the street, there's an Imperial, kind of their headquarters, their little building around here. Security office. A few more of them there than there usually is in town, that's for damn sure. We want you to lift one of their speeders. You take one of those off, drive around to the other end of town with it. We'll have someone waiting there, hop in and take it. They hop in with you, and they'll tell you where to go from there. You do that, prove to us that you're going to be willing to do stuff like that, we'll get you in touch with the right folks.
Well, I reckon I've been stealing speeders since I was a teenager. Alright. I will get up and approach that, like, building, I guess.
Okay. You can see there's kind of like a little like checkpoint area where there's like an open front where there's like a person who's sitting and kind of looking out over the entryway into town who seems like they probably like maybe harass locals as they come and go, whatever Imperials do for fun. There's a bigger building kind of built up along the back of it that doesn't have windows or anything. There's like doors to go into it. That's probably where they work out of and sleep. And then kind of up in front of that, there's this little sectioned off yard that has 2 speeder bikes and 1 speeder like vehicle parked there. And you can see like the speeder bikes each have a scout trooper sitting on them that seem to be just talking, shooting the shit, and the speeder itself is unoccupied at the moment.
Well, I guess I'll just so the like guard or whatever is like right by it.
The guy who's like in the little station isn't really paying attention to it very much. He seems like he's kind of looking out over the town more. The 2 scout troopers are right next to it because they're sitting on their bikes talking.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm not very charming.
That has been established.
You know what? I'm so angry. I'm just gonna. Well, I'm gonna just sneak up.
Okay.
Kind of by it.
We're trying to sneak all the way up to the speeder.
If I were to try to like, if I were trying to like draw them away with like a distraction, like in more of a like, be more of like a survival kind of hunting style type of thing, rather than like, hey there, shock troopers or whatever. There's you know, because like I'm thinking of like,
there's not a very clear translation of using the survival skill to draw people away from a location.
Yeah.
You can come up with something super clever and let you try and roll it, but I don't know. I can't think of something you could use like survival skills to draw someone away from a location with, especially when they're just kind of sitting there talking. If you want to try a stealth check, it'd be a pretty hard one, but you'd have some bonuses based on the fact that they're kind of having a conversation and not really paying attention.
right.
Trying to sneak up to the speeder.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll just try to sneak up and see if I can.
It'll be a hard stealth check, but you'll get to add a boost die to it because they're having this conversation and not being super focused.
Okay.
Hard because they're literally sitting next to it, but the boost because they're having the talk. And hard is 3, right?
Yeah, that's what I got. Out of all those dice, one advantage.
One advantage. It's not a failure, and there is an advantage there. So we'll say for the sake of this, you're going to get right up next to the speeder as they notice you, basically. And so you kind of get up next to it, and one of them kind of look over and be like, "The hell are you doing?" And then now's your time to react or respond. Like, what are you doing? Get away from there.
Okay. I just do a quick... Well, there was a thing out there in the street. There's a commotion. And depending on what they do, we'll see what I do.
Go ahead and roll me an average deception.
Okay.
Which is cunning based. I think you're more cunning than you are.
I'm definitely more cunning than I am
present.
I'm more cunning than I am here.
Than I am here. I am not here right now. I am cunning.
Sure. One success, 2 advantages.
Okay. You go, no, there was a commotion. Look that way. And they both kind of, huh? And turn and look the other way for a second.
I hop on the bike and just
hop on the speeder and pull out of there. Mm-hmm. Okay. You hop on, you're like, hey! And they're going to try and hop on their speeder bikes to follow you, but you're going to have a bit of a lead shooting out and swerving away in this thing. Go ahead and make me an average piloting planetary check.
Oh.
You're using a speeder under duress.
I don't know what I have. Oh, I'm a career skill in piloting space. Okay, so... Well, but it's agility based, so I'm going to be pretty good at this. Probably. Average save, right?
Mm-hmm.
1 success, 1 advantage.
Okay. They both get successes as well, but with some threat. So, you swerve and come around the edge, and you seem to have gotten a good lead on them. Like, you've gotten ahead, and you can hear, like, their speeder bike engines kicking up behind you, but you're kind of rounding the corner before they're shooting out of the lot. So they kind of told you a spot to meet up with them, and so I guess you're just going to try and go to that spot as quickly as possible, basically?
Well, no, I'm going to try to lose the troopers.
Okay, so you're kind of going to go out into the wild with it a little bit more?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, they're going to be trying to chase after you. For the sake of it, how are you going about trying to lose them? Are you trying to lose them? Are you trying to lure them somewhere and fight them? What's the plan? What's the goal?
Well, if there's like a forest or something that I would be really familiar with.
Most of the ones around here you're pretty familiar with.
Yeah.
And there's definitely like forest. It's kind of a mountainous, foresty terrain around here.
I'll just kind of go into one that I'm pretty familiar with and just see what happens. Try to like cut through trees.
You're trying to kind of like lose them and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and you make me an average piloting planetary. And they will be doing the same, but theirs is going to be harder. So yours is going to be average because you know this better than them. Theirs is going to be hard. But add a setback die for the rough terrain.
Okay. Ooh.
What you got?
2 advantages, 3 failures.
2 advantages, 3 failures. You don't lose them. The advantage is that you're not crashing into anything, but they seem to like kind of get up behind you. However, with the 2 rolls we have here, so you're kind of swerving in and out of these trees, and you're doing a good job of like making it hard to follow you. But one of them seems to be like maneuvering pretty well and is staying on your back. The other you can see kind of clips the back corner of his against a tree, and it kicks his engine, like spins his bike out, and he crashes. And you hear an explosion and a scream behind you. The other one, however, is going to like pull a blaster pistol out of that like kind of boot holster and is going to try and take a shot at you. Which will be this, and it'll be that. And with those, there's going to be some setback die. So a blast goes up over the top of the speeder you're driving, and he does not succeed at hitting you. Are you going to continue the same? It's going to basically be like each round, he's going to get a chance to shoot you if he's able to stay on you. Otherwise, he might lose you or crash if you keep doing this.
So if I were to like take a shot at him,
would that just be my entire turn, or
you wouldn't be able to? It'd be easier for him to keep following you, basically.
Right.
It wouldn't be the additional thing I'm doing back here that's making it more likely for him to crash because you're not focused on like trying to swerve and weave in through the trees.
Right. Oh, I'll just keep weaving through the trees.
Okay, so you go ahead and make that same check you just did, and he will do the same.
1 success, 2 threats.
So for the sake of this, he gets some bad news. So you're swerving and kind of cut this. He also he tries to swerve and he does it early and catches the front of his and it kind of kick flips and snaps his speeder bike basically because of how fast he's going and it crashes and you can hear a scream, but a chunk of it's going to kind of spiral and fly towards the speeder at you. So what I'm going to need is a quick, hard piloting planetary. It's catching me. Without the setback die.
Okay.
This must be a hard piloting to avoid this thing spinning towards you from the threat.
2 successes, 1 advantage.
All right, you swerve around and avoid this thing as it crashes into the ground near you. And the advantage is that you have crashed both of these speeder bikes and lost them in the woods over here.
Cool. Well, I guess then I will. I'll take it to the spot.
Okay, you're gonna loop around and. So you kind of loop back around, get to the meetup spot that you were supposed to. You kind of take the wide loop around so you don't go right back past that checkpoint. And you can tell there is some like buzz going on the opposite end of town as people are like, "What the hell just happened? What's going on?" And you pull up and you can see those 3 guys just kind of standing around there, just like milling about. And they see you coming up and they're like looking around to make sure no one's following you. And you can see them like talking to each other. And go ahead and roll me an easy perception check. As you pull them. Or average perception.
Success, 2 advantages.
All right. With that, you can hear as you approach up, like, oh, he actually did it. What the fuck? Basically. Crazy son. Maybe he's okay. He's real. He means it. And you pull up, and the 3 of them, one of them, I guess, with this being like a speeder car thing, the 3 of them hop into it, and they're like, I'll give you directions. Follow me, or just do as I say, and I'll tell you where to go to. And they direct you to kind of go a little ways outside of town, and you go to what is basically kind of a small cave system in one of the mountains nearby outside of town. And you can see inside there's a number of like crates and boxes and tents set up, and there seems to be some people living out of it.
Interesting.
And I'll kind of have you pull in and park there. And you can see one of them kind of like, while you're driving, one of them goes up underneath the like panel of this thing and seems to be messing with something. And you see him pull out this like kind of metal apparatus from the car, and he's just like, tracker, and throws it over his shoulder so it leaves so that you can drive this, and like the Imperials won't be able to trace it back to wherever it lands or parks. And you guys get to this place, and they're like, come with us, and we'll introduce you around to some folks here. This is kind of one of our one of the staging areas. We use this spot to store supplies, and currently we're just, I wouldn't call any of us military or rebels or anything like that. We're just gathering and stockpiling and helping store supplies for some people who are trying to make a difference around here. You can see that a lot of what you're looking at around here is like weaponry. There's like a good number of crates of weapons and stuff like that.
Well, I'm curious. Is that I met a failure the other day. Got me into some real trouble. He had a lot of crates himself full of some of the same wares you have.
Entirely possible he was involved somehow in all this. I don't think. What's his name?
His name was kind of hard to remember. It's kind of a forgettable
nerf. Forgettable face.
Or figure. I think it was Dove or Dev.
Dave, maybe?
Dave?
I think it was Dave.
Dev Matt. Mallior. The Mallior.
Kanzade's a name I'm familiar with, but like I said, we're just doing what we can to help out people who are making a difference. I don't know any of the big players of this whole situation. You seem like the kind of who's not looking to just help find boxes of supplies and store them in a cave somewhere to hand off to people. You seem like you're wanting to get involved.
Yeah.
Is that a fair read on you, feller?
I got a real bone to pick with these Imperials.
Well, what I can tell is that clearly you're willing to do what it takes to make something like this happen. So, you hang around here for a little bit, and I'll see if I can track down anybody a bit more involved in this who can point you in a good direction.
I appreciate it, sir.
And they kind of have you park, and they go their separate ways, kind of leaving you to mill about here should you choose.
Yeah, I just kind of walk around, look around at everything, and whatnot. Don't really talk to anybody.
Okay. You aren't an Imperial, clearly, so nobody's like, who the heck's this guy? Like, nothing gets stirred up with you moving around out here. Looking through this place, it's very much like I described, like it's just people living out of caves, or at least storing items out of caves. You can see some medical equipment, a good amount of weaponry and the like. Some of which you can see is there's like a decent amount of like explosives and stuff like that as well. Food, those kind of things. And a pretty like rudimentary but complex communications array set up on like a table inside of here. And you see kind of like a big set of like over your headphones on who's like talking into multiple different channels and stuff like that. And one of the guy who said he was going to like ask around goes over to that place and seems to be talking for a little bit. And milling about for a little bit, I assume.
Yeah, just kind of walk around. Sure there's nobody I recognize or anything. I'm just taking it in, I guess.
Okay.
Seeing what it all is.
No one you recognize working out of here, but you, after a little bit of time, this guy kind of walks back over, and he says, well, if you're wanting to get real involved, I found something that I think that there's some folk whom are wanting to make a big strike out, I think, against all what's going on around here. But they're needing a little more time before they're taking folks on to help in that sort of capacity. But I told them you're trustworthy and that you helped us out a lot, and they gave me some coordinates to give you. Said to wait about 2 weeks' time. We can have 2 weeks' time from now, and then meet them at those coordinates. From there, they'll let you in on however much they trust to let you in on.
Well, sounds good. Thanks for your help, sir.
Thank you for the speeder. Here's the coordinate, and kind of gives you a little like data pad or something with some coordinate stuff on it, some information. He says, if you want to hop back in, actually, probably shouldn't take that. Hop in that speeder over there, I'll drive you back to town. Probably be for the best we don't drive this one back just yet. If I think about it. And the two of you hop on in soon. He's going to drive you back over to the little town and drop you off.
Well, I reckon might be good to get out of this town.
Probably a good idea. Head home for a little bit.
Get my Vibro 150. And go home to my nurse.
Go home to your nurse. Your house hasn't been ransacked again while you were gone, thankfully. That's the Empire nice. Just spit in both your eyes, and spit in both your eyes, then again in one of the eyes. You ride back to your home how you left it. Nurse doing well. And yeah, your house is unsettled. You have a couple weeks' time, it sounds like, before it's time to meet up with whoever these people are. What are you going to spend that time doing?
Well, I got to make sure that my nurse are taken care of, so I call up Shane and be like, hey, I'm going to be gone for a little while. Mind you just watching my nurse?
Now, I got my own crop to attend to, but yeah, I got nothing better to do.
Now, hey, do I look like somebody's got nothing better to do?
Because I am.
Because I am.
All my stuff's in the ground growing. I gotta make sure it gets watered. And, farm kind of boring.
Farming's real easy when you're in the future.
God, mechanical device is what waters this for me. I just gotta make sure it don't break. I can check on her. Yeah, I can do that.
I appreciate
it. And using the remaining back, you'll be able to get your remaining wounds gone over this next little bit of time. And probably about a week and a half after this, you're just kind of taking care of the nerfs, I assume.
Yeah.
Just business as usual, taking care of them. Like I said, about a week and a half after this whole interaction happens, you're kind of asleep at night. Earlier in the morning, you hear like a loud banging crash noise outside of your house.
Oh, well, I reckon I can get my bowcaster out and see what's going on.
Okay. You can run over, grab your bowcaster, throw on your big fur coat, and crack the door open, and you can see what looks like there's like a. Go ahead and roll me. No, you don't have to roll this. This is bright enough out, and it's pretty plain and simple. Crash landed in what looks like the middle of your nerf pin. Luckily, you're not sure if it landed on any of the nerfs. If it did, there's not a whole lot to prove that it did. Go ahead and roll me a knowledge. Or it could be a mechanics. You just roll an intelligence because it's not going to really be something that has a relevant skill for it. Or actually, you can use piloting planetary if you want. I'll let you use piloting. Or space. Piloting space.
Piloting space. Oh, okay.
Technically, it's a knowledge thing, but for this, whatever.
No, that's where it is. Actually, don't have any ranks. It is a career skill.
But that lets you use your better stat, I think. And it'll just be an average one.
Five successes and one threat.
Okay, you know what this giant chunk of metal that landed is. This is an escape pod. All right, this is definitely an escape pod. The threat, however, is this is definitely an Imperial escape pod that has just crash landed in the middle of your nerf field.
This is like real UFO stuff, except it's the future.
So. Except the future, so it's not unidentified. It's from up there, those giant spaceships that you see.
Okay, well, I guess I run up to it.
Okay.
Try to open it up or whatever.
You start running towards it, and as you run up to it, you can see the door kind of pop open, and you see a shape kind of like starting to rise out from the shadows inside of this thing. And at first, like the real glance you can see like the kind of white laminate of what looks like kind of stormtrooper armor. Oh. And that's where we're going to stop this session.
Oh no! Cliffhanger!
Cliffhanger! My nerves!
What happened to Tobaku's nerf? Did it get crushed?
Did it get crushed under this? Who's this guy?
Who's this guy?
Find out next time in the Age of Rebellion. At this point, the Age of Rebellion. Our Age of the Rebellion campaign.
The rage of Rebellion.
The rage of Tobaku for his nerfs and his nerfer. Thank you for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed. Excited to meet whoever this individual is in the next episode. Exciting stuff. Thank you everyone for watching, and we will see you in the next one.